Welcome to Discover Ramona, where we explore the people, places, and businesses that make it the best place to live. I'm your host, Valley, and I'm here with Jan Ryan. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Valley. How are you?
Well, I'm wonderful, and we were just talking about the new year and how things have been. So give us a little update on the market and kind of like the overall wellness of San Diego's housing market.
Well, I'm glad you asked because it's really interesting. I know I've mentioned a few times that I like to keep an eye on the market to see where it's going. But the craziest thing is the market, the inventory was climbing and climbing, where in San Diego Country Estates, a month or so ago, we had 35 homes on the market, and now it's half.
Wow.
I checked this morning, there's only 18, which is amazing. And then that goes for the inventory in all of Ramona, 92065 as well. We're down to half. And what's interesting with that, the average market time is 45 days now for active.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they're like sitting a little bit longer.
So they're sitting. So just keep that in mind.
But they sell eventually.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So keep that in mind when making plans, and there's different marketing you can do to make that increase or decrease.
Got it. Okay, so who did you bring for us today?
Well, today I have Katie Quint. She is an eagle specialist. She's also, the research director for the Wildlife Research Institute. So you're going to love her.
All right, let's meet her.
Let's meet her.
Welcome to the show, Katie. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. What a thrill and an honor.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Myself, I'm a research director for Wildlife Research Institute, which is a nonprofit. Used to be based in Ramona. Now our equipment headquarters is in nearby Julian.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ramona basically was the stage for an incredible grassroots for the grasslands effort in the 90s, when development imposed some plans to turn our Ramona grasslands into industrial development, and even actually most importantly floated was the concept to do the San Diego International Airport in our Ramona grasslands. Yes, so
cool.
Think like we could be going to Costco right there, but instead, luckily, we instead are using that as undeveloped lands available for our most important sensitive species of the county.
Yeah.
And at Wildlife Research...
Which are what?
Oh, my goodness. We are talking... It's foraging area for the largest apex predator in the sky, the golden eagle, largest raptor in North America. And it also is home to one of the most small... You can see it from the naked eye, but the vernal pool fairy shrimp, they're a seasonal little invertebrate they have an incredible biology. So we're like talking full spectrum.
Okay.
And we've got the Stevens kangaroo rat, the arroyo toad. Yeah, these things, it's like a parallel universe.
Yeah.
So to study it is one thing. To highlight it is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And then to advocate for it is the most important component of knowing.
Well, how did you find yourself in that?
Well, I had a wonderful mentor. So like some of the greats really cannot just point to themselves, right? So hopefully maybe I'm in that category one day, but the late, great Dave Bittner, he actually helped form Wildlife Research Institute in 1993 with the help of the other late Carol Angus, who was instrumental in bringing the Nature Conservancy in on the equation to preserve the Ramona grasslands.
Oh, wow.
So Jan, you were living in that area for that time, and it was a big deal. Grass roots for the grasslands. I mean, it was a huge community effort to make sure that those lands were conserved and preserved. So the County of San Diego now, they manage it, but just before that, WRI, the Nature Conservancy, they were piecing all these parcels together. So the old Cagney Ranch, James Cagney, the actor, his ranch is a part of what is now preserved in Ramona. So there was a lot of players involved. And I'm here decades later still highlighting what's able to use the Ramona grasslands. So we've really got 19 different species of raptor that have been documented in the Ramona grasslands. Did you know that San Diego County is the most biodiverse county in the contiguous U.S.?
I would have, I mean, not
You
that
could
I
probably
knew that,
guess
but I
it.
would have guessed it.
I mean, we've got the coast, foothills, mountains, and deserts. So when you have that juxtaposition in one county jurisdiction, you kind of make a name for yourself. And so biologists love it, and so do the animals. And honestly, like relating back to even real estate, that's San Diego County's shared asset. People travel to look for our raptors in the Ramona grasslands. Like it's a hot spot We're birders. eBird is like kind of the little nerd app that we all use to see like what's been sighted where. And like,
I guess it is
they're
kind of
traveling.
like a San Diego fun fact because
it is.
I do catch people, and I even find myself doing this where if I see a hawk in the sky, I might slow down and watch him.
Yeah.
Or if there happens to be a hawk on like a power line nearby,
Yes, exactly.
I'll just zoom in and
What the
record him.
heck
Just
is
sit
that?
there and watch him for a while. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like in our busy hustle and bustle in San Diego, it's nice to slow down and just see like nature doing its thing.
Oh, and it does it all around us. I mean, some folks have a commute where they're on the same light post every day on the way to work.
Yeah,
they
it's their
see
little
their
bird.
They see their one hawk that they say hi to every morning. And this time of year is the beginning of the breeding season. So early January and February, which is why we do hawk watch in January and February. We're catching the tail end of the migratory season, so we have extra species at play in the sky, like available to the naked eye. And then also we have the beginning of the breeding season. So your one little guy on that light post might have his mate with him. And yeah, maybe next week you're going to see two on that
The
same
lovebirds.
post.
It's now almost Valentine's Day.
Yes,
and-
they're pair bonding.
Wait, okay, so to go back to
Sure.
talking about different species, you can say you don't know, but like, what's going on with the parrots?
Oh, the parrots are a happy accident, and they were just somebody's pet. They're an exotic that probably got accidentally released, or oftentimes some people, if they're irresponsible with the exotics that they have, they just like open the door and it's a bird. It just flies away and then out of sight, out of mind, and the next thing you know, they're breeding, and you've got flocks of them.
There's more and more and more.
Yeah,
and
what
more
part of the
every year.
county do you live in?
East County. I live right down the hill.
Yeah,
in
you probably
Lakeside.
have them in your palm trees.
They're all they
Yeah.
love our neighborhood.
I see them all over
But
Ocean
so
Beach
they
as well.
don't go up to Ramona, the parrots.
Oh yeah, we have them.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
They're an invasive species. It's
Okay.
kind of like the most other prominent invasive species I know, the human.
Oh. Well,
They're everywhere too.
did the golden eagle like them? The parrots?
I have not documented I haven't documented
sure.
them in prey species. They're mostly native species that they're going for. Their history is so rich and ingrained in, like, they're one of the most native species that we have in San Diego County, the golden eagle. And fun fact about them, they were the most common bird species in the La Brea tar pits. That's like with the mammoths and the saber-toothed tigers
How
that
do
got
you
caught.
spot them?
Oh, spotting a golden eagle. Our survey protocol is to hike almost to like one of the highest vantage points you can get to. I use a 60 power scope. I hike it up there, and I generally sit for 4 to 8 hours.
What?
And just scanning, looking, and then like the county is my survey area, so I've gotten to know it pretty well year after
You
year.
know where to go.
I know where the eagles go.
Okay.
So I go and I'm like, are they at their favorite rock? Oh, yep, they are. Or I wait until they come to it. Or you scan the skies, and sometimes folks that are still learning to identify from flight will mistake like a turkey vulture for a golden eagle. It kind of takes a second to get like these nuanced little
They're
features.
not that high though. Turkey
If they're
vultures can't go
far
that high.
away, like if you're looking through binoculars, they have the same kind of size, but there's just little nuances. Like they don't have the same exact shape, and they don't have the same exact flight.
Well, I
so.
want to forewarn you. Jan is a skydiver.
Oh,
So
it
if
could
you-
be Jan. I'm looking.
Yeah, it's
for.
not an eagle.
me.
Need a
It's
buddy?
Jan.
Need a buddy? I haven't been yet. I'd love to go.
Oh yeah, come.
Yeah.
I'm always talking people into it.
Out of
Valley knows.
Ramona Airport?
No.
Oh, the
but
one in
down the
Otoe?
hill.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if she's all over San Diego in the skies.
Yep, that's me.
It's a
When
bird.
you
It's a
look up,
plane. It's Jan
Jan
Ryan.
you never know where you'll see me.
That's awesome.
What an interesting profession.
It just kind of happened to me, actually. I was working in the zoological industry, so I worked at the Honolulu Zoo. I went to school in North Carolina and got an undergrad in zoology. I always knew I wanted to work with animals, but it almost was like too literal. I was thinking like just inside the box. And then I moved to San Diego shortly after college and got a job helping Wildlife Research Institute part-time with permits. And from there, did a mentorship, essentially, that was kind of not a formal mentorship, but I was just so interested. And I remember the first golden eagle I ever saw was in Ramona, just northwest of the 67 and the Highland Valley Road exit, or the intersection. And I was driving with Dave Bittner, and he pulls over, and there's like driving with biologists. It's like a thing.
An eagle.
It's there. There's poetry about it. So he pulls over, and he's like, there's a golden eagle on that hill. And he pulled out the scope, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think he's like a little bit maybe crazy. How could he see that?
Yeah.
And of course, we looked through the scope, and there's this majestic golden eagle perched on the hill. So and beautiful. I thought, how am I ever going to do this? And now I look at the same hill, and I'm like, how did I miss that?
You're the bird lady.
So it's all about practice, perspective, passion, keeping all of those things in line. And eventually, you almost train your brain. You change a little.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's one of the coolest things. For the first time, last Saturday, I did go to Hawk Watch.
That's our biggest gem of Ramona that we can contribute is Hawk Watch.
It is.
What did you think of Hawk Watch?
It was amazing. It exceeded all expectations. So it was awesome. You should see Katie up there, her knowledge, and everybody else that goes up there, but it's such a gem for Ramona. Yeah. So that's why you're on now, is to let everybody know.
Hawk Watch is our continued program. It's free on Saturdays in January and February, overlooking the Ramona grasslands from the beautiful Bejent Ranch, which is actually a donated venue. It couldn't be better. I mean, we have a backdrop that allows us to not only bring our planned animal ambassador birds with critter encounters and some of the county parks rangers, that come with their falconry birds or their captive animal ambassadors. But Jan saw this weekend, we had to interrupt over and over for the wild bird observations overhead that were really a spectacle for everybody who's
It's a good idea for people to bring their binoculars.
Bring them if you have them, but you don't need them. We actually have our spotting scopes, like the one I described that I hike with everywhere. We have those available. So we've got naturalists and board members of WRI and our amazing volunteer team, because it is an all-volunteer effort, this program.
So
it's our 36th year as well, which is pretty cool.
I've heard a lot about Hawk Watch.
Have you not been yet, though?
I've never been. And
Leap of
now
faith.
when you tell me there's other critters, I'm like interested. But so January and February, it's free. What about after that?
After that, we are back into research mode. So right after that, I'm doing phase 1 surveys, seeing all the places that golden eagles might be incubating in the county. We do that by helicopter. Take the doors off so our big lenses can fit through. And we take pictures of all the known eagle nests and look for more every single year. The slate wipes clean, and we have to do a full inventory of the county so that our agencies know where to protect them.
Where can we find more information about the Hawk Watch?
About Hawk Watch, it's online. wildlife-research.org/hawkwatch. And it's basically an hour and a half or so of a biologist talk. It's Q&A. It becomes kind of a conversation because, I mean, we welcome curiosities and questions. And one of my favorite ones was when a lady asked, out of concern, that a Cooper's hawk was hunting her bird feeder. And she's like, what do I do? And I said, well, it's still a bird feeder.
But there you go.
It's a different kind of bird feeder.
I know. So what's the problem? It's still a bird feeder. It's all about perspective. So we, for that hour and a half, have you getting the hawk perspective. So we'll show different hawks, even owls, the night shift of the raptor world, and the second and fourth weekends of those 2 months. Sorry, you're so popular. The second and fourth weekends of those 2 months, we have falconer Dr. Bob Gordon come, and he flies his Harris's hawk, and it's just right through the crowd. It splits the part in your hair is split by this hawk is flying all over through all over us. It's amazing.
And you had, how many people generally go?
So it's a huge space, but generally like a low day is like 225 people, which is what we had this past weekend. But as the weekends go, more and more people repeat visit because every weekend is different at Hawk Watch. The wild birds or what comes to mind or the conversation that we have with the crowd, the audience, changes just a little bit, and you get something different every time. There's some diehards. I mean, we've got folks that come every single weekend when January and February come around.
And it's overlooking the
Hawk
grasslands.
Watch. Oh, yeah, you couldn't get a better day.
And then you go right around the corner, and then you can do bird watching.
What time does it start?
It starts at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And then around noon, we'll wrap up the just stationary portion of the program. And then you have the option to join us roadside with our scopes and our naturalists to do roadside observations.
Oh, cool. And so that lasts about how long, you think?
Oh, it depends on what we see. It could go from half an hour to more. And then you get the perspective, okay, if I want to come by myself, what do I do and where do I go and where do I look? Yeah. So this weekend we saw a zone-tailed hawk, which is a real one-off in the. I mean, it's pretty special to see one of those in the county. This is the northern part of their range. They're like a Baja bird.
Oh, wow.
And we saw the resident pair of golden eagles trying to get a squirrel, from the ravens that had caught it. So, I mean, it's like nature TV, baby. It is awesome.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people like that stuff.
Like, sit still long enough.
Yeah.
And just look and watch the grasslands come alive.
Yeah, the interest. Yeah, that's so cool.
Coyotes come through.
What?
The ferruginous hawk, that is a migratory bird and winters in these grasslands. If we had not saved these grasslands, where, like, you can't think of another place in the county where they might be able to have the same open space and hunting opportunities. Wow. Yeah.
I love it.
And the bald eagles have begun nesting in San Diego County. So there is a pair in the Ramona grasslands, which is really not necessarily their native habitat. There's not a reservoir, which isn't native either. That's human-made as well. So we kind of like introduced habitat for the bald eagle.
Okay.
So we're studying even the effects of that on golden eagles, our native nester.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So great to have a job that you're so good at and passionate.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's an honor to be their voice and to learn about them. I mean, truly, the first publication about the golden eagle in San Diego County was in 1937.
Oh, wow.
And James Dixon's article in the Condor Journal. And I'm still studying the same cliffs in some cases that were reported in that original publication. And they were reaching back to 1895 for records.
Can you wear like a live like GoPro so we can follow you around?
Yeah, you want to be on my shoulder?
Yeah, like over, just in your shoulder.
Come out in the
and
field
follow
with
you
me.
around.
Come on out in the field. It'd be an eye-opening perspective.
I bet it would.
Of what's out there.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's an art form.
Do we need to know anything else about Katie here?
There's like a million things to do. We should have her come on like 20 times.
No, I
know. Something different every
talked
time.
about it. We waited till January, but I wanted her for a while. She goes, let's do it.
And I'm just so happy we finally got to meet up and give this great message about Ramona grasslands and beyond. It's got a really cool history.
I'm like intrigued.
Beyond. Oh, please come. You'll be VIP. It's free, but if it wasn't, I would comp your admission.
And the best donuts. Are those Katie donuts?
Those are from Katie
Donuts
in Ramona.
Katie donuts.
Yep. And we serve them at just donation-based refreshments while you're there. We get coffee donated from Starbucks in Ramona. So it really is a community effort, and everybody who's involved or has been touched by Hawkwatch like really understands just how special that is. And they're so proud of us for keeping it going.
Me too.
And the sky's the limit.
I hope to visit you soon.
Yes.
I'd love to have you.
Jan, I'm glad you got to go.
Yeah.
And,
come join me.
I'm really going to encourage that live cam.
It's free.
Idea.
If you have people visiting in town, like what a no better morning to spend outside.
Okay, I have a visitor in February. I'm going to come.
Okay, I'd love to have you.
All right. Thank you, Katie. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you all so much for watching Discover Ramona, and we'll see you next time.